Good morning. Please start by coming to a seated position on your mats. Find your foundation. Sometimes you need to physically take your hands and shift your glutes back so your sitting bones can root into the earth. Inhale and grow along. Exhale, find your alignment. Drawing your neck back. Reducing that curve in your low back. And elevating the crown of your head. The theme of today's class is Santosha, which is one of the niyamas of the second branch of yoga. And Santosha is a principle that talks about contentment. Contentment is not elation, and it is not sadness. Contentment is this beautiful place of balance where we accept exactly what is. That doesn't mean that we don't try to impact our environment or our world and make it better, our lives. It just means we can't do that. We cannot make a difference from a place of resistance. We have to come from a place of acceptance first. Fully accepting and aware of what is, and only then can we change it. Can we flow with it? Can we enjoy it or make the most out of it? So just for today, on your mats, can you practice and let this be a practice of contentment, of being right where you are, aware of what is, and accepting. Bring your hands together at heart center, press into your palms, and at the same time press your shoulder blades together onto your back. Take a moment to bow into your open heart and thank yourself for coming today. Beautiful. Roll over onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Begin to paw your hands into the mat, finding your foundation. Really claw your fingers into the mat, helping you press down through the four corners of your palm. Come back a little bit, bend into your elbows, and inhale, scoop forward, lifting your tailbone, lifting your gaze. And exhale, begin to send yourself back and spin your spine up and towards the ceiling. So we're adding a little bit more movement to our cat-cow. Inhale, back to cow. Go back and scoop into it, lifting your tailbone and your gaze, and exhale, go backwards. And then back up, curving your spine towards the ceiling. Continue pulsing with your breath. Finding a little extra movement in your cat-cow. Waking up the spine. Two more breaths here. The next time you complete your exhale, come to a neutral spine. Press up and back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Have your knees generously bent here. Come into stillness. Bend your knees just a little bit more, and as you do, press into your hands, almost letting your belly rest on your lap. And then see if you can And extend your legs just a little bit. Breathe into the backs of your legs. Look towards your hands, and slower than you want to, walk your feet towards your hands, keeping that micro bend in your knees, forward fold. Breathe here for a moment. Just let your torso hang. Maybe nod your head yes. Shake your head no. You can grab your elbows and just sway from side to side. Remember your breath. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, halfway lift, shoulders come back, neck draws back, and exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back into a high plank position, tuck your elbows into your sides, drop your knees if you need to, and lower down chaturanga. Untuck your toes, press into the tops of your feet and press into your hands. Give yourself a slight back bend, cobra or upward facing dog, and then roll over your toes and back into downward facing dog. We're gonna do that again, so inhale, exhale, begin to step towards your hands and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands and step back into a high plank position. Drop your knees if you need to and tuck your elbows in, lower down to the earth. Untuck your toes, press into your hands. Cobra or upward facing dog, and roll over your toes and back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Look towards your hands and step your right foot in between your hands. Drop your left knee. If you need to, you can roll up the side of your mat for a little extra support, or you can grab a cushion or some extra padding. Step your front leg forward just a little bit more, and then lunge into your front leg. As you do, breathe and feel that stretch in the front of your left hip flexor. Inhale your arms up. Palms facing each other, pinkies turning inwards and behind you. This is your crescent lunge. A low crescent lunge here like this. Bring your left hand to meet the inner lining of your right foot, and then twist so your right arm reaches the sky. Look up towards your right fingertips. Try to send your right glute back so you can maintain the squareness of your hips. Three breaths here. Find your strength so you don't collapse into this pose. Make sure the palm of your left hand is properly plugging down. Find an adjustment if you need to. Plant your your right hand by your foot and step back into downward facing dog. Look towards your hands. Step your left foot between your hands and drop your right knee to the mat. Extend your stance just a little bit and lunge into your front leg as you breathe into the front of your right hip flexor. Inhale your arms up beside your ears, fingertips pointing towards the ceiling. Palms facing each other. Can you spin your fingertips, your pinkies back just a bit? Opening up your heart. Plant your right hand to the inner lining of your left foot. Make sure you're rooted down through the four corners of your palms. Really claw your fingers into the mat. And then rotate to the left, opening up, and send your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And let your gaze follow. Send your left glutes back just a little bit more, maintaining the squareness. And breathe. One more breath here. Plant your hands and step back into a high plank position. Drop your knees if you need to. Tuck your elbows into your sides. Lower down, chaturanga. Make a pillow for your forehead and just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Come into stillness. Roll over onto your back and then come up to a seated position. I'll face this way so you guys can see me. Find your foundation, always finding your foundation in every position. In your seat, you need to sometimes take your hands and shift your glutes back. From here, just bend your knees a little bit and bring yourself into almost a V position with your torso leaning back. Activate your abs here. This is a perfectly good bus stop. You can stay right here, or you can begin to lift your legs and see if you can balance in your boat pose. Flex your toes up towards your face. You can grab whatever part of your shins, legs, thighs you need to. See if you can flex your pinky toes towards your face. Make sure you don't have a wall or anything too close behind you in case you rock back. You don't want to hurt your neck, which has happened to me. And just breathe here for a moment. You are strong. You are balanced. And it's okay if your boat rocks a little bit. Beautiful. Bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet together. Bring them in closer and just give your knees a little bit of a flap here. As you use your arms to pull your feet in, maybe you can only reach your legs here. Grab whatever part of your ankles, your feet, your legs that you can, so that you can also push your elbows just slightly into your thighs as you pull your torso forward and your shoulders onto your back. Breathe here. Beautiful. Take your hands to the outer edge of your thighs and close them like a book. Extend your legs out in front of you and just give them a little bit of a shake. Always find your foundation, just in case anything has shifted. Flex your feet up towards your face. Inhale, grow long in your seat, extending your crown of your head as close to the ceiling as you can. And then exhale, forward fold. Reach your arms out in front of you for whatever part of your legs or feet that you can. And use your arms to give yourself a little bit of a pull as you breathe into the backs of your legs and into your back body. It's okay here if your shoulders come forward. Just let yourself melt towards your legs. And breathe. Begin to let yourself slowly come up. Shift forward onto your knees through tabletop position. Curl your toes under and press up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you, and exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Drop your left heel so you're in a front heel to back arch alignment. And inhale your arms parallel to the earth, pointing to the front and back of the room in your warrior two pose. Lunging into your front leg, can you draw your tailbone down towards the earth so we're not increasing that curve in our low spine? Straighten your front leg, send your fingertips forward, and then just shift your hands so your left fingertips come to the inner lining of your right foot and your right hand goes towards the ceiling. Stay high onto your left fingertips. We're not dumping into this hand. And bring your shoulder blades just a little more onto your backs. This is Trikonasana, triangle pose. Maintain a micro bend in your front leg, making sure that it never hyperextends. One more breath here. Bend into your front knee, plant your hands, and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Drop your right heel so you're in a front heel to back arch alignment, and windmill your arms parallel to the earth, pointing to the front and back of the room. Warrior two. Lunge into your front leg and draw your tailbone down. Straighten your front leg. Send your fingertips forward and then switch hands so your right hand comes to the inner lining of your left foot. Left arm goes up towards the ceiling. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back as you open up, maintaining a micro bend in your front leg. Can you be content right now with exactly where you're at, with what you're doing, and how you feel? Know that it's all meant to be. One more breath. Bend into your front leg, plant your hands, step back into a downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet here. Maybe bend into your knees generously as you press into your hands, bring your shoulder blades together. Bring your knees as wide as your mat or wider than hip width apart. Bring your big toes together and bring your glutes back towards your heels as you melt your torso towards the earth. Your arms can come out in front of you or they can come beside you, whatever feels right. And let your forehead rest on the ground and just breathe. come up through tabletop and roll over onto your glutes. Bring your left foot in towards your right glute. So your knee is pointing directly ahead of you, and bring your your right foot to the outer edge of your left thigh. Give your legs a squeeze here so you can find your alignment with your spine. And then with your arms, bring them out to a T alongside you, bringing your shoulder blades together. And then bring your arms ahead of you, separating your shoulder blades. Bring your left arm underneath your right arm and begin to twist your arms together so your palms can touch here. Take a moment to breathe. If you're able to, you can stay right here, but if you're able to, you can bring your elbows just to the right of your thigh, giving yourself a little more of a twist. This is a combination of two poses, a seated twist and eagle pose. Stretching out our back and giving ourselves a little twist at the same time. You can unlock your arms, come back to neutral and give your leg a little bit of a squeeze facing forward. Extend your legs out in front of you, give them a little bit of a shake. And then bring your right foot to your left glute, knee points forward, left foot comes to the outer edge of your right thigh. Give your thigh a little bit of a squeeze to help align your spine and straighten. Inhale your arms to a T alongside you. Bring your shoulder blades together and bring your arms forward, feeling your shoulder blades separate. Bring your right arm underneath your left arm and twist your arms together so your palms can touch. You can stay right here if this feels good for you. Or you can begin to send your elbows to the left of your thigh, giving yourself just a little bit of a twist. One more breath here. Untwist your arms and come back to neutral. Give your leg a little bit of a squeeze. Bring your right shin parallel to the front of the mat. And then bring your left shin to stack directly on top. This can be a really hard pose, so if you need, you can grab some blocks for support. This is our fire log pose, where you stack your shins together. Flex your toes towards your knees. It's a hip opener. And this can be uncomfortable, but it can also feel so good, because it is exactly what we need and what we ignore. Even in moments of challenge, can you find contentment? Can you breathe and accept what is? With a willingness to work with it rather than against it. Draw the crown of your head upwards, remembering the alignment of your spine. Bring your neck back just a little bit so it lines up with the rest of your spine. See if you can bring your belly button to spine just a little, reducing that curve in your low back. You can unstack your legs using your hands. Extend your legs out in front of you and give them a shake. Bring your left shin parallel to the front of your mat and flex your toes, and then bring your right leg to stack directly on top. This is your fire log pose. We're in the opposite formation as before. Inhale, grow long. Find your alignment. Let every breath strengthen you. Fill you with the will that you need to move forward, to accept what is, and to change what needs changing. I forgot to remind myself and you to find your foundation. So I just needed to shift my glutes back a little bit so my sitting bones could root down, and that's helping me get a better stretch here. So if you need to do the same, find your foundation. And then find your alignment. Maybe let a soft smile creep across your face, knowing that everything is just as it should be. And once you accept that, the world is there for you to work with. It's yours, like a blank canvas in front of you. Get excited about painting it. Extend your legs out in front of you. Maybe use your hands to unweave your legs and give them a little bit of a shake here. Perfect. Come to lie down onto your back. Bend your knees. Bring your shoulder blades together and scoot your tailbone down. As you do, see if you can scoot your skull up a little bit, which aligns your neck with the rest of your spine, drawing it closer to the earth. Bring your left ankle over your right thigh. Lift your right foot off the ground and reach for the back of your right thigh. As you do, use your left elbow to press into your left thigh and draw your right thigh closer to you. This is giving you a stretch in your outer left glute. Breathe into that space and breathe out any tension. Flex your toes towards your knees so we remain active and engaged with each and every moment. Yoga is truly a beautiful practice for life. Can you stay engaged with what you're doing? Remember your breath. One more breath here. Beautiful. Let both of your feet fall back to the mat. Bring your feet wider and let your knees tent in towards each other. Then windshield wiper your knees from side to side. If you've got the space to do it. Come back into stillness. Bring your right ankle over your left thigh. Flex your right toes towards your right knee. Lift your left foot off the ground, reach for the back of your left thigh, and as you do, use your right elbow to press into your right thigh. Breathe into any tight spaces. Inflate that space with your breath, and exhale any tightness or tension. Make sure your toes are flexed towards your knees, maintaining your engagement. See if you can pull your left thigh back a little bit more as you push your right thigh away. One more breath here. And let both of your feet fall to the mat. And then just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Extend your legs out in front of you. Just draw your tailbone down more. You might need to scoot it down. Bring your shoulder blades more onto your back, letting your arms flip, your palms flip up towards the ceiling. Draw your neck towards the earth more by scooting your skull up. Let your feet be wider than hip width apart and let them fall to the sides of the room, allowing gravity to hold you. Allow yourself to be held. Almost like a baby, trusting that your caregivers or whoever is holding you has got you. Can you tap into that exact sense of surrender, of trust, of peace, as if Mother Earth herself is holding you? begin to find some movement in your fingers and your toes, coming back into your body, your hands and your feet, wrists and ankles. Bring your feet together and bring your hands together overhead. Give yourself a stretch. See how long you can stretch. And then roll over onto your right side. And use your bicep as a pillow and rest for a moment. And then press into your hands and come up to a seated position. Contentment comes from an intimate connection with the present moment. When we become aware, when we focus, when we forgive, and when we accept, we create a beautiful environment in our minds and our bodies for our dreams to manifest, for us to take inspired action rather than acting out of fear of what we don't want. My wish for you today is that you find your sense of contentment. Bring your hands together at heart center, press into your palms and press your shoulder blades together at the same time. Bow into your heart. Thank yourself again for coming today, for doing the work, for practicing. The light and the shadow in me bows to and acknowledges the light and the shadow in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy your day.